Alrighty, I think we're live. Hopefully we're live. It's gonna be a good one today. Got a nice little budget streaming build, and you can't see him because he's on the floor. But we got the dog here with us, Mr. Ranger. Our quality control is here, so you know we're gonna have to be extra careful today. Make sure everything goes together right. Otherwise, you know, he'll get on my case. Also, these gloves that I brought from home fit way better. They're nice and tight on my hands, but they're a lot more work to get on. But look how much nicer they fit. Don't those look like they're nice and tight and they're not gonna get in my way? So much better dexterity? Is that the word I want? Dexterity? Okay, well, let's talk about today's build. If you're not able to type in exclamation point specs, I'll just do it for you. We've got an i5 12600K. Yo, what's up, Jatana? How we doing? We got i5 12600K, 2 terabytes of storage, 32 gigs of RAM, this ID Cooling A620 CPU cooler, 650 watt power supply, B760 motherboard, and an RTX 3050, which might not sound like a lot, but this is just a streaming PC. 3050 is more than capable of encoding your stream and recording at the same time. Even if you're streaming to multiple places, it's not gonna have any problems with that as long as you know how to set up OBS correctly. So that's what we got. And then of course we've got a case down here on the floor, which I'm not gonna pick up because I don't feel like it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get started. Let's get started. And what better way to get started than to knock everything over. I also need to get my little soft pad out here, my little mouse pad. Gotta get my little mouth pad out here. Yo, what up, Grandpa? G-Paw. Please tell Ranger you showed up for him. All right, I'll tell him. Hey, Ranger. Ranger. Grandpa Slow Snipe showed up for you, okay? Yeah, is that okay? You good with that? He seems satisfied. Okay. You guys can't see him, but he's literally like right down there. Maybe with the top-down camera, you can just barely see. That's his head right there. You can just barely see it. He's a little toasty. He's a little toasty because I took him out to go potty very recently, and it's 100 degrees outside, okay? There's no other way to say it. It's too hot. He's a freaking double-coated mini Aussie. It's too hot outside for him, but you know what? He braved it anyways. He went poop, so all is well in the world. Am I allowed to say poop on stream? I don't know. My 5-year-old would say no potty talk. I'm like, I'm not just saying poop for the fun of it, and you know, I'm saying because he went poop, okay? But you know, 5-year-olds don't know the difference, and they just want to get you in trouble. 72 here in the north. The north of what? The north of Saskatchewan? 72, man. It hasn't been that cool since like 7 a.m. I can't believe that. Michigan. Oh, well, it's practically Canada. No wonder it's so cool. Zen coming in with the sub. Appreciate that. Club Inspector coming in with a sub as well. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for those subscriptions. They might have happened offline for all I know, but hey, we're here, we're live. I'm gonna say thank you. Aaron Blue, what is up, my guy? How are you? I'm feeling, I'd say about 70%. I'm really starting to think that this might be another bout of COVID because the crazy fever, like the sinus stuff, the fact that I still don't feel that great and I don't have much energy, and that I'm still, I mean, I know that I went outside, but that was kind of a while ago, and I still kind of feel like my body is like wanting to sweat like crazy. I'm thinking that I might still be sick. So probably the Rona. I don't know. What do I know? It's not worth testing anymore. Thomas1229, Trevor S, Cammy, Unholy Ghost, all coming in with those subs on the YouTube. Appreciate y'all. You just got off a 3-week bout. I feel like everyone's getting it right now. 3-week bout of COVID. You were down bad, missed about 7 days of work. I'm really lucky that like my work is very, let's say, physically strenuous. Would that be the right term? It's not a very difficult job in terms of physical capabilities. As long as my brain is working and my hands are working, I can kind of work. There was definitely a part of that where like I was in such a fog that I couldn't work. But for the most part, I just, I can kind of suck it up and do it, but I can't imagine it. 3 weeks. I hope this doesn't last for 3 weeks. In like 3 weeks, I'm supposed to be flying out and going on some work trips, so I really hope I'm better by then. Oh, you're next to the lake. The big lake, the lake, or like a smaller lake. All right, MSI B760 Gaming plus Wi-Fi. We've got the 12600 KF, which means there's no onboard graphics for this. So, it saved us a few bucks. This is a pretty tight budget build, so anywhere that we could save some money without affecting performance, we did, and so we were able to save 15 or 20 bucks, I think, by going with the KF model versus just the standard K model. Pretty nice. It wasn't fun at all. It doesn't sound fun. How am I feeling? I'm feeling all right. I was telling Aaron earlier, I feel like I'm about 70%. Like I came down, like I had a headache earlier. I have some like off, it's not actual like the good stuff Sudafed, but I have some Sudafed that has acetaminophen in it, and I don't have any Tylenol with me here, and I didn't really feel like going home, so I took some of that. I'm hoping that it'll kick in. I already feel a little bit better, but yeah, mostly right now it's just like sinus stuff and like headache, and I just don't have a lot of energy. So here's to hoping that it goes away soon, because yeah, I still don't feel great. I mean, I'm like good enough. Obviously, I'm here. I'm able to stand, able to work, because my job is not very demanding physically. But would love to just feel good. It's good. You're 1 mile from Lake Michigan. Nice. Glad you're feeling better. We don't have to witness the fury of the Hulk again. Yeah, I'm feeling somewhat better. Yeah. Dude, that headache Friday night when I was building was absolutely wicked. Like, just absurdly bad. All right, 2 terabyte SSD from Team Group. It's the MP44L. I forgot to look at it, but it's roughly 5,000 megabytes per second read-write. 5,000 read, 4,500 write. Not bad. It's only like $100. Prices of SSDs, even Gen 4 SSDs these days they're just so good. Everything has gotten so much cheaper in terms of like storage and memory. Like I know GPUs and CPUs and stuff like have kind of gone crazy price-wise, but like storage has gotten pretty freaking cheap for really good quality stuff. Exclamation point specs. I'm wondering if Botrix is not working. Oh no, there it goes. Okay. I wonder if Botrix just disabled that whole like Botrix has entered the chat on YouTube, because I haven't seen it in a long time. There's the specs. We got a 12600K. This ID cooling A620, which is an awkwardly similar name to the Deep Cool, which you know you can no longer buy in the US for reasons. We've got the 2 terabyte SSD, 32 gigs of RAM from none other than Team Group, MSI motherboard, 3050, 650 watt power supply, and our case. Pretty good. Pretty good. Botrix definitely has COVID, moving slow. Yeah, I also, there's some stuff, like I'm supposed to like do some things with it that I keep forgetting to do until I'm like in the middle of a live stream. So we might have to do those at some point, but whatever. Phones have not gotten cheaper. Phones have not gotten cheaper, that's true. That, honestly, the price of adding, or like getting the phones with higher storage, I'm convinced is just artificially inflated. Like iPhones, Samsungs, like they just know that they can get away with. Here. Like saying that an iPhone that has 64 gigs is $200 cheaper than an iPhone that has 256 gigs is absolutely absurd in terms of what it actually costs for that much storage. Like you can see that this SSD is the exact same form factor for a 500 gig, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 8 terabyte. Same exact form factor. You can put 16 terabytes on there and it doesn't cost that much more for a 500 gig versus a 1 terabyte. So what phones are doing is they just know that people are willing to pay that, and historically we've had to pay those premiums in order to get a phone with more storage, and so they just kind of keep going with that sort of price model because they know people will pay it and they're used to paying it. That's, you know, there's my rant for the day, okay? There's my rant. Dual GPU. What? Nope. Nope. No. So, okay, sorry, yeah, that might be a misnomer. That is a model name from ASUS. ASUS has the ASUS Dual series. So the ASUS Dual is like one of their like model lines. So they have the ASUS Tough, they have the ASUS like ROG Strix, and then they have the ASUS Dual. They're coming out with like the ASUS Dual Evos as well. But yeah, that's just like one of their product lines. Yeah, it's like a twin fan, not a whatever it's called. Not a like dual GPU. What up, Devin? Dude, how are you doing? It's good to see you. How's YouTube things? I saw your post the other day that you get to like work flexible and stuff, and I was like, do you do this full time? Or is that just you also do YouTube and it, you know, they both happen to be flexible? Also, this is my first time using this ID cooling CPU cooler, so I'm interested to see how it performs. It's very similar to the AK620. 620? Something like that. It's very similar to the CPU cooler that I have in my personal streaming rig. It looks very similar. It has almost the same name. So I'm kind of wondering if ID Cooling is trying to maybe capitalize on the fact that Deep Cool can't sell anything here anymore. We'll see. Who knows? You work full-time for a YouTube-focused company, actually. Oh, okay. So you do that, plus you have your own YouTube channel, is what I'm gathering here. So you say, I like to say I'm a full-time YouTuber. It does sound cooler, right? When you can say, I'm a full-time YouTuber. I can't say that, sorry. I can't even pretend. ID cooling. I kind of want to make a video on this, see how it performs. We'll just have to pull the case apart a little bit. Alrighty. Doing good over here. Actually just got done filming a video with my daughter. Oh, let's go. What's about? Give us the scoop. Give us the scoop. Okay. So we got the back plate. Nice. Like that. I assume this has got to be for Intel. Set up for Intel. It kind of looks like it's got the right spread for Intel. There we go. It does. Okay, so that's great. This is actually really nicely laid out. So they've got the nice back plate, which I assume it looks like it's set up for both LGA 15 or 1150 and 1700. And they've got this nice little tray here. It's got everything nicely laid out. All of these little offset, what would you call those? All these little spacers are just nicely labeled. So you got 1200, 1700 AMD, and then you've got the little spots for the screws. Honestly, their packaging is real nice. Okay, so let's get our 1700 ones out of here. It's the best way to do this without dropping everything out. There we go, cool. Ooh, they're kind of like, you can see they're like molded together. And you just gotta break off the little gates from the mold. Or risers? I don't know. I think those would be considered gates. I don't think those would be risers. 12600 KF, but with an A770. These guys bolts in. I should probably just look at the installation guide. We've got lots of time. This is gonna be a short build, so let's just take a look. 11 is the AMD screw. Oh, are these just nuts? Oh, they're just all deep in there. I thought they were not nuts. So there's two sets of spacers. So there's an Intel rubber standoff. Maybe that's inside underneath these guys? Oh, it is. Okay, interesting. That's a very weird setup. I don't love that, but you know, it's okay. All right, so what they want you to do is there's a little rubber standoff. So you put that on first. That makes more sense where there's a big cavity in those plastic standoffs. For a second, I thought it was a remote control. What up, Chris? How we doing? Okay, so that makes more sense. We got these little rubber standoffs, which is awesome. They're pretty tight on the studs, so that back plate is not coming off. And then you put these little plastic standoffs over the top of the rubber ones for reasons that may become apparent later. We don't know. Just like that. Okay, and then we're gonna put these little brackets on. So we've got AMD brackets, Intel brackets. Okay. Typically it's gonna go this way. That. That. Cool. And then we've got these little nuts. Well, little nuts. Put the wrong screw thing in here. So I was promised Ranger on Twitter, but I don't see Ranger. Hold on. You're right. I mean, I didn't say necessarily that Ranger was gonna be on here. I just said that Ranger would be sad if you weren't here, but give me 1 second here. Where you at, bud? Oh, he's still down there? Technically, you can see his head right there. Ranger. Hey. Ranger. Hey, look up here. Okay, you can't really see his head down there. Do I just move this? There you go. There's a Ranger. There you are. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Make the scratches. Make the scratches. Okay, there you go. All right. See? Proof of life. Goodbye. Yeah. He's just happy to hang out. He's very lazy for being a working dog breed. But yeah. He's just happy to be here. Mrs. Red and the little one are away for the rest of the week, so someone's got to take care of his fluffy little bum. You're welcome, Devin. You're on both Kick and here talking to you. Oh, sheesh. Chris is an MVP over here. Okay. Got it. Understood. All right, we don't need this stuff. Don't need that anymore. Get those out of the way. The real question of the day, are fans gonna fit over the top of that? Nobody knows. I'm guessing this front fan, we might have to, oh no, it sits pretty high. Might have to bias the front fan up a little bit, but it should be okay actually. Cool. I mounted it sideways. See, this is why you look at instructions. It's fine, it's fine. It'll take like 30 seconds. So technically, everybody else does it the other way, all right? ID Cooling just thinks they're better than everyone and they want to do it their own way. My dog is the way working dog, but lazy. Yeah. Ranger's quite lazy, but it's okay. Because we're also kind of lazy, so we're okay with that. What up, Wiz? How we doing, sir? How's that graphics card? You just got a 3050? Oh, sorry, Ed, I missed your comment there. The 3050 is, for this use especially, is really solid. I mean, it's got 8 gigs of VRAM. It's got the newest, you know, design for, well, newer design for being able to utilize like the newer encoders. So honestly, for being a stream PC, a 3050 is a great option and it's pretty cheap. It's like $150 to $180. So kind of similar price to what you would have had to pay for like a 1650 or 1660 nowadays. So honestly, it's a good budget option for a cheap encoder. And it's way better than trying to use your CPU to encode. All right, ID Cooling, ideas to make a difference. Okay, let's get our little thermal paste out here. Okay, thermal paste is a little thick. There we go, let's get a bunch of that out here. There we go. Way more than necessary, but that's fine. Because we're gonna use our spatula. I'm gonna grab a paper towel, which didn't tear cleanly. Cool, that's fine. You have the 8GB version. This is the 6GB version, I guess. But if you can get the 8GB version for like a similar price, I mean, you really shouldn't need that sort of amount of VRAM for encoding, but you know, never hurts to have it, right? Better to have a little extra. So this ID Cooling thermal paste is a little on the drier side. It's a little more difficult to spread. We got it. We're there. Ed Bailey, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Appreciate you. Subject to your other YouTube channel. I fully expect more Ranger content in future builds. He doesn't come here that often. The only reason he's here today is because, like I said, Mrs. Red and the kiddo are out, and so someone has to be able to, you know, take him out and keep him company all day. Gotta get rid of all this excess. Don't want too much thermal paste. It causes problems. All right. That should be pretty decent. There might be it might be a little thick in the center here, but we've kind of left a little bit on the outside. So it should sort of spread out, cover the entire IHS once it's warm and once you've got pressure on it. Zulu, what's up? I heard you were going to build my PC on stream once all the parts are in. You bet. Build all PCs on stream. People always ask, like how, like I've actually had people ask how much it would, does it cost extra to build it live on stream? I'm like, no, dude, I built them all on stream. You just gotta be here. Okay, now, got this in the right orientation. Let's get this bottom one started. Happy hump day, what's up, Ken? How you doing? It runs Game Pass pretty good. Oh, that's good. What games do you play with it, Ed? You had an Intel build with a 9700, but just went back to AMD. Yeah, AMD, baby. I'm a big AMD fan. Especially their CPUs. Their GPUs, I've had 2 of them now, and I haven't loved them. Overall performance, they're good, but I've just not had the best experience in terms of stability with them at times. But, that's just me. Okay, so it does look like there's plenty of room for these. This one would stick out just a little bit. We could even go this way. It could go that way. That seems to sit really nice and flush. Like that. I think that would work. Assuming there's enough room there. Hold on, let's get a little, get my measuring tape out. I don't know where my other thing is, but hold on, let's just check this. So that one sticks out about an inch, just over an inch from there. Oh yeah, we got lots of room. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna do, you kind of have to choose between seeing the RAM of your, seeing the RGB of your RAM here, or seeing the RGB of your front fan, and I kind of want the RAM, so that's fine. Why are there so many of these? There's only 2 fans. Okay, let's put this guy like that. Yeah. Got it. Nailed it. Was thinking about that PC you got from your dad. How about a dedicated emulator PC? See, that sounds like a lot of work, and I don't actually play games that much. I could set it up, just for the fun of it, but I wouldn't really use it ever. That's the problem. Unless somebody wants to buy an emulator PC. Maybe that's a possibility. Who knows? All that there. It's gonna just kind of have to be like that for now. The 5600X runs really good with games. Yeah, the 5600X is a solid little gaming CPU. I still offer that in my gaming PC for the short term. The gamer PC, I should say. Do I want it in that orientation? I feel like this would look better if we rotated at 90 degrees. So we could do it this way, but I think it would look better if we do this. This way. This way, the cable is kind of going to be a little bit more hidden that. So now the cables will kind of come out right down there rather than right out the side, or I guess the top. But yeah, the 5600X is a nice little gaming CPU. And now it's like 145 bucks or something like that. It's not that expensive anymore, which is pretty cool. I mean, it was never expensive, but it's like, it's a really good budget option these days, in my opinion. And it seems like AMD is pretty committed to continuing to support the AM4 platform, which is surprising. They just released 2 new CPUs for the AM4 platform. It's weird. Come on. There we go. Okay. So squeeze that down in here. Just gotta slide that through. Wait, hold on. It's not quite. Let's try and get it as flat as possible. There we go. Can I bring this one down just a little bit? That's about as good as I can get it. Let's bring this side up on that one a little bit just so it doesn't look like it was on accident. There we go. So this one has to sit just a little bit proud because it's got the cable underneath, but it's not hardly noticeable unless you're looking for it. And then we'll take these guys off. Cool. Got a really good deal with a tough motherboard and a 5600X on Amazon. Ooh, I like the Asus Tough. That is a good freaking motherboard. Honestly, all the Asus Tough stuff is good. Okay, let's get our CPU cooler fans connected and in here first. Let's see. Okay, got that. So there's CPU fan right there. And these guys, I could plug them in right now, but I'm gonna actually run them to the back because I've got one RGB header here. I guess I have 2 RGB headers. So one RGB header is gonna be used by the case fans, and then one is gonna get used by all of this stuff. So let's just start hooking these up, I guess. In that case, get it? Case, in that case. Cool. Those connections are actually pretty good. We'll still throw some tape on them. I do my scissors. It looks a lot like a deep cool CPU cooler. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I was like, it looks almost identical to the AK620. This is the ID cooling 620. I have a sneaking suspicion that they used the same name and like kind of form factor and everything to maybe snatch some market share and get some people who were looking for deep cool, but you know, can't buy deep cool in the US anymore, so maybe they can, you know, get some extra sales out of it. That would be my guess. We originally had a deep cool CPU cooler planned for this system, but again, can't do that. Yeah, do you guys know why deep cool is no longer available in the US? Anyone know? Anyone watched my reel about it, or short, TikTok, everything, whatever about it? Oops, I need to remove that one. Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? If nobody knows, I'll tell ya. Oh, it's not that they stopped making them. So here's what happened. They're still making them. They're still marketing them everywhere, except for the US, because Deepcool got slapped with a big old fine and a, I don't remember the technical term for it, but essentially like not allowed to sell here in the US because they, yes, Russian ties, as Grandpa Slow Snipe says, they got caught selling components to Russia, which were considered vital to the war effort. So since that there is an embargo by the US on selling things, they have a list of things. They're like, hey, these are, relevant and helpful to Russia in the war effort. You cannot sell these things to Russia for that reason. And Deepcool was found to have been selling those things to Russia. So they are now faced with a huge fine, like millions of dollars, and are not allowed to sell anything in the US. Now, I don't know if after they, pay this fine, if they were to pay the fine, if they would actually be able to start selling stuff here again. That's possible. I don't know if that's the case or not. But yeah, that's where they sit currently. So like, nobody's allowed to sell their stuff. You might be able to like vacate current stock or something like that. But like, as you've seen, like Newegg, Amazon, everybody's pulled them off because you're not legally allowed to sell their stuff as part of that embargo or whatever they call it that they've put on Deepcool. Pretty crazy. They have stuff on Amazon. Yeah, I think the ones that you see on Amazon though are not directly sold by Amazon anymore. Like I think the ones that you'll see on Amazon now are, sold through Amazon, not directly by Amazon, if that makes sense. Okay, so fun fact about this case, speaking of Amazon, they shipped it to me and it got a nice little bump somewhere in the front. They put some stickers over the top of the case box to try and pretend like it was okay, but it broke all of the plastic connectors that push the front panel into this. The front panel looks fine, but it can't connect to it anymore. And I kind of looked through everything within the case. Everything on here seems fine. Like I don't see any like damage to the metal or anything like that. And all the fans felt okay, all that good stuff. So I had to order a replacement. So we can't ship this out until I get the replacement in. I'll throw the new front panel on and we'll be good to go. But yeah, I couldn't see any damage anywhere. I did a pretty decent check of it. There's a bunch of little plastic pieces in here still, because all of the clips that hold in the front panel, every single one broke. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah. It's not like they sold like missile parts, but if the government says you can't sell these items to somewhere and you decide to do it anyways, sorry, stuff's gonna happen. You should probably not break the law. Okay. Oh. It was in. Guess maybe it just doesn't fit in there super tight. Normally I kind of push against it to double check that it's like really in, but I guess maybe the fit on here isn't the best. Okay. There we go. Put that in there. Get all these and just make sure they're, wait, hold on. Okay. Everything's already set up for ATX, which is wonderful. Let's shift this around. There we go. All those bolt holes seem to be fairly lined up. Cool. What's a good AIO cooler? Well, now that Deep Cool's gone, Team Group makes a great cooler. I know that I, get their stuff wholesale, so whatever. You don't have to listen to me on that, but like Team Group's stuff is pretty good. I haven't tested most of like the other like budget options, to be honest. Like I had used Deep Cool as like my budget option for so long that like, I need to check out like Thermalright and ID Cooling to see how theirs are. The Be Quiet cooler is really good. Like if you get the non-RGB version, it's not too expensive. You have the AIO Frost Deep Cool on them. Capacitors and diodes that you can buy anywhere. I know, right? But like, those are things that like, maybe like Russian government needs to use those to create things, and some of those things that they could create with it, useful for the war effort. So, just if they say you can't sell it, don't sell it. Okay, that's the moral of the story there, I think. Okay, let's get our bolts out here. Separate them out. There's 1, 2. I'm not saying that the government's right in not letting them do it, but like, if the government says you can't do it, you should probably not do it unless you're willing to accept the consequences. That's all I'm saying. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money on an AIO, the Lee & Lee Galahad 2 Performance, like their non-fancy RGB ones, are not overly expensive. Like they're in the $120 to $150 range depending on sales going on, and those are really good, like really good. You have a white build. There's a white version of the Team Group AIO. There's a white version of the Lee & Lee one. There's a white version of the Be Quiet doesn't have a white version, so that one might be out. But yeah, if you looked at like the Stone Mountain PC I did recently, that cooler is perfect for pretty much anything, and it's in white. Yeah, sold third party with Amazon. Zulu is kind of my thoughts. Like they're not being sold by Amazon. Yeah, Team Group's a good brand. They're from here. They're from Idaho. I don't know where they design their CPU coolers, but Team Group, like Micron and stuff, is here in Idaho, like just down the road. Okay, got those. Hey man, what up? How we doing? Yeah, I really like Team Group. They make good stuff. Hence the reason why I've started working with them to get some stuff wholesale. Come on, come on. Here we go. Because I do believe in their products. Team Group and Crucial both. Crucial pretty much just makes like RAM and SSDs, but Team Group has, some other stuff. They make like the CPU coolers. All right, there we go. That is nice and in there. Look at that, it's perfect. Got a fan, and then blowing right into another fan. Okay. Let's get Lazy Susan out here. Whew. Almost came out of my hand. You have a Team Group Type R RAM. Oh, there you go. I really like, honestly, when it comes to Team Group, one of my favorite things that they make now is the T-Create Classic RAM that they have. It's like super sleek, non-RGB. Just looks so good. You, Idaho, get out of here, Whizbot. Get out of here. Oh. Oh, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Where's my thing here? Give me 1 second. 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Have them in red and gray. Nice. Okay, so let's get these cables to the back of the case real quick. A lot of cables here. All these guys. Just gotta scooch them out to the back, please. Thank you, thank you. There we go. Looks a lot cleaner now. Okay. Let's get all this other stuff plugged in that comes in with the case. It's actually was not too bad in Texas. It was in the 80s. It's in the 80s today. It's in the 100-ish here. Let me scoot this over so I can see your guys' comments. Hold on. Is that in the way? Only a tiny bit. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, 80 sounds nice. It hasn't been that low in quite a while here. That's okay. It wouldn't be so bad. Like I wouldn't be so concerned with the heat if I didn't have to take my dog out like 2 blocks away right now to take him to the bathroom while I'm at the office. All right, HD audio connected. Get our USB 3 here connected. What do we got here? It's up there. So we'll go up like this. Okay. Got a USB 2 on the case. Get that connected. It'll be down here on the bottom somewhere. There. Okay. Just like that. Got RGB connection for the case. So this should cover, yeah, so this is gonna cover all of our built-in fans. You can see that there's this nice little RGB hub for all the fans. So that's great. This is gonna go right down here on the bottom. Cool, just like that. Okay, we've got this guy. It's going to be all of our front panel connections. Got all of them today. Got HDD LED. do that one and the reset switch first, because those are going to be on the bottom. Boom. Boom. And we'll get our power LEDs next. Those go right above the HDD LED. That. We got our power switch right next to that. And it looks like, let's double check here, LED switch. We have a reset button. Okay, so they have a separate LED switch. So there's an LED button here, and that runs to this little board where all the RGB connects to. So I'm guessing that'll just switch back and forth between having the button here controlling the RGB for these fans that come built in with the case, or you'll swap it over to having the motherboard controlling it. All right, and then we've got front fans. This has a 3-to-1, so we'll utilize that for the front fans. And then for this rear exhaust fan, I'm actually gonna pull it back through here. It's gonna use the pump fan header, like that. And then let's grab this 3-to-1. Let's find some headers down here. We got one, got two here. Okay, let's get those headers down there. And we've got this 3-to-1 right here that we're going to connect to all of these guys. Hopefully they're long enough, otherwise we'll have to use one of the upper ones. 100 plus is normal for the summer here? Yeah, same here. It's been in the 100-ish range for most of the month. Yeah, it's kind of far. We're gonna move that up above. I wanted to utilize down there just because it will look cleaner, but it's fine. We'll utilize one of these headers right here. Utilize this header, and then we can just run it back up this way. Like that. And that'll look pretty clean. Then we just gotta take all of these guys. Run them to this little splitter. Joining RightTech once you're done building, that is the plan. As long as my dog doesn't decide that he needs to poop again or something, that is the plan. One more of those plastic pieces that broke on the shipping trip. Yeah, hopefully RightTech's nice and warmed up and ready to carry me once I get there. And I think he said he's staying on for a long night, so hopefully we'll be able to play for a while. Okay, so everything that's on here is connected except for SATA power. So I think it's time to clean this up a little bit. So let's just start grabbing some cable ties, zip ties, some zip ties, some more zip ties. Let's do a bit of cable management here, hey? Okay. Okay, got that. So this looks extra messy because we've got this thing down here that's got a bunch of extra length from all those cables. That's gonna make it's gonna make for quite the bundle right here. I think that's okay. I don't think it's gonna stick out too far. go. Get those guys up here. Okay, those in there. And for this, we're gonna wanna use cable ties because there's just gonna be more stuff getting tied in here soon. Yeah, he got on pretty early today. Normally he's not on till 5 o'clock my time, so I wasn't really worried at first or beforehand about like being on at a certain time because I thought he would be on later. I thought he would just be like on in the game, like getting his stuff leveled up. But he got on way earlier than usual. He surprised me. Okay, so we got all that. And this is gonna get kind of fixed up right down here. That one unfortunately is just a little bit short, but that'll be okay. This guy's gonna go through here, to there. Okay, those cables look a lot better now. Do not actually have any thing through there. We'll just do this and tighten it up a little bit. Just kind of keep that looking a little tidy. Okay, so that's looking a lot better now. Unfortunately, that one can't be perfect, but you know, not everything has to be perfect, I suppose. All right, so that's fairly tidy. Now we can get some of our power cables installed in here, specifically CPU power, motherboard power first. We really only have a couple cables. We need CPU power, motherboard power, one GPU power, and then one SATA cable. And then we're done. What up, Tragic? How we doing? Just got here what we building. Type in exclamation point specs, and then I'll talk you through them. Exclamation point SPECS. No caps. No cap, baby. I know I sound ancient saying no cap, okay? Don't remind me. There we go. Hold on, I'm gonna drink of this protein shake because I'm getting hungry. There we go, okay. So, we got this nice little streaming PC here with a 12600KF, which means it doesn't have onboard graphics. Got this awesome cooler from ID Cooling, basically like the AK620 from Deepcool. 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage. Got the MSI B760 motherboard and an RTX 3050 in here. Pretty slick little PC. If you build it yourself, you can do this for under $1,000. W command, right? Yeah. I always make sure to update that before each PC build stream. So that way, whenever you join in, you can just hop in and be like exclamation point specs, and then you know. It'll prompt me to talk about it again, but also you'll be able to just sit there and read them off. Also, if you look at the description in YouTube, I do include the specs of the system I'm building along with affiliate links. If anyone's like, hey, I want one of those, then you can just buy it. And if you use the affiliate link, I get a little kickback and it doesn't cost you any more than it would cost you to normally buy it. Okay, motherboard cable, got it. This summer is still better than last summer in Iowa. Was it pretty hot in Iowa last summer? Okay, let's grab one SATA cable. Don't need that Molex or the other SATA cable. Okay. One CPU power cable. And then one, that's another CPU power cable. And then one GPU power cable without an extra. Yes. There we go. Okay, let's do CPU power. Connect that in right here. Sorry, you guys don't get to see it very well. I can't see very well in this little corner. Goodness. There we go, one side. Split cables are such a pain in the butt sometimes. There we go, got it. Like, I know why they have to be split, but like, I don't want them split. Okay. Zishan K, what's up? Someone is lucky with this PC while you have a i3 5th gen with no graphics card. Sheesh. Yeah, it's getting old these days. A 5th gen i3. What do you do with that? What do you do with that system? Do you just like work on it or play some Minesweeper? That's better. Okay. Okay. A little bit better. I think I want to slap another one of these guys in here just to make this look a little cleaner up front. Okay. Get my clippers. Play GTA SA because it runs smooth on it. Hey, let's go. Hey, as long as you're still, if you're able to do something on it, that's awesome. Because I mean, that's getting darn near, I would say, you could almost call that CPU ancient at this point in terms of, you know, technology these days and performance these days. So the fact that you're still able to do some gaming on it, pretty awesome. Nice. Wonder if that zip tie was a little old. Never used, but a little old. Let's try another one with hopefully a different result. This one feels a little more stiff. That one just broke too. Cool. Let's use one of these other ones that I know is new. This is what happens when you hoard zip ties. They apparently break down on their own over time, even though they're sitting inside of a drawer. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try another one of these. This is a different kind of one than the two that broke, so you know, we have high hopes. We have high hopes here. Boom, great. One more. This one looks kind of like the ones that were broken. Let's see what happens. You hate doing cable management? It is the least exciting part of building for sure. Okay, could you please just like go into a direction I can grab it? There we go. Imagine this breaks after I spend that much time trying to get it. Okay, cool. All right, so we got all that stuff in there. No annoying plastic to take off. Good job, EVGA. Also, how adorable is that blue? Love it. All right, so let's get our stuff connected here. We've got VGA, which is gonna be for our GPU. We've got SATA, which is gonna be for the RGB power for the case fans, I should say. We've got CPU right there. We've got motherboard right there and right there. Okay. So now we just gotta scooch this on here. Just gonna go ahead and scooch on in here. Okay. Great. Let's get our bolts out here. Cool, 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 cool. Old zip ties definitely dry out. Also, brands matter a lot. Yeah, all these zip ties I have are just ones that came with like cases and power supplies and stuff. So yeah, some of them are definitely getting up there in age, even though they've never been used.
What up,
so
Ted?
I'm not too surprised. You guys would be a little bit surprised at just how many zip ties I've hoarded in this drawer. It might be disturbing to some how many zip ties I've hoarded. Yo, what up, Richard? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. How's your day going? Yeah, the cable management is 100% the boring part. It's also the part that probably takes the most strategy, if I'm being honest, and skill to make it look decent. Okay. Okay, we're back, and we've got our SATA connector here. Plug that in. Let's take a cable tie and throw it on there. Got some extra ones from EVGA. Thank you, EVGA. Gonna use them one day, though. I know, right? Someday, just like all the random junk in my garage. You know what's funny? I had like some random, like planks of wood in my garage that were there when I moved in my old house. They sat there for like 2 years, and then I decided to make stands for my PCs. And what do you know, a 1 by 12 or whatever was like perfect to make a stand with. Maybe it was even wider than that, like a 1 by 14. I was like, this is perfect. So I like took some 2 by 4 to make the legs, and then like the 1 by 14 or whatever it was like perfect. Just chopped it, and it was made the stand on my for my PC cases. So, you know, you just don't throw away stuff that could be useful, right? You gotta be smart sometimes, and convince your wife that it's a good idea. Is really the harder part, I suppose. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. We are ready to get our GPU in here. Get that out of the way. So PCIe 1, this guy right here. So we want this guy out at least. Break that one out. Likely a 2-slot card, but that's pretty thin. So it could be a 1-slot card. That would be wild. I haven't seen a 1-slot card in the 30 series, but you know, it's always a first for everything. Exclamation point specs not working again on Kick, it seems. But I'll talk you through it. They worked on, dude, Botrix has been pretty slow for everyone, it seems like. Holy crap, is this a 1-slot card? No, it's a 2-slot card. It's real thin. Look how thin that is. I mean, it's only a 3050, so it's not that surprising, but still. I was really hoping it would be a 1-slot card, just for funsies. But honestly, cable management, getting back to that, is kind of what sets you apart from, you know, doing it yourself versus having, like, paying someone else to do it. Like, I would say that's one of the things that kind of sets it apart, is like, you gotta have good cable management if you're building for somebody else. It kind of looks like there's a plastic piece over it, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. I'm not sure. Okay. Just a couple of connections on there. Being only a 3050, you know, it doesn't have a bunch of ports on it, but that's okay. Should be fine. Let's just double check and see if there is plastic. Oh, there is. See? Got an eye for it. Boom. Okay. Open that up. Take this guy off. Take these covers off. Hi, Botrix here. No, I'm talking to the rest, taking the rest of the year off. Not surprised. Oh, I should probably take the second one out. If we're gonna call it a 2-slot card. I have a canter with cable ties. They stay in my toolbox in the heat. Never had one break. Yeah. I wish these would never break. Granted, I didn't pay for them, and they're all like probably the cheapest possible thing that like the manufacturers of the components I'm buying can get away with, so I'm not that surprised. Okay, so we need a couple bolts for that. This should be the same thing as power supply bolts. Okay, come on. Go. That one started. There's another one right there. Okay. Those nice and tight. Tighten this slide bit back up there. And clearly, this thing is so light, it doesn't need any help. Also, holy cow, that is a GPU without needing separate power. That's crazy. Don't see that too often. Okay, so we don't even need this power cable. We'll keep it plugged in case the owner decides to upgrade their GPU someday. Leave that in there. All right. That's when you know it's just a little baby. It doesn't even need a power supply. Well, I mean, it's getting power through the PCIe slot, but it doesn't need external power. Let's grab another. Where are those EVGA ones? Right there. Okay. Let's take off all these zip tie ends. See how we feel about the cable management with all those gone, because it looks a little, it always looks a little messy with the all the ends of the zip ties still on, you know. How does that look, y'all? Can you guys see that? Can we see that at all? What do we think? What do you think of that cable management job? Does that case have RGB header in the back of the case? So this has a RGB like board, for lack of a better term. It is technically like a little circuit board where you can put a bunch of 5-volt RGB headers in there. It comes with 4 from the 4 fans pre-installed, but you can add a couple more. It's got an LED button here that you could use to control all that RGB, or I'm sure if you do like a long press, it'll let you use the motherboard to control all of the RGB from all of that. Looks good? All right, cool. Cool. All right, look at this. It's even got a filter for this intake. We didn't add fans to the intake here, but if you did add fans here, you could have a couple. You can have a couple more intake fans besides the 3 up front, and it comes with an extra filter for it, which is pretty nice. Very thoughtful of Antec. Antec does a pretty good job at making budget cases that still have solid features, you know. Okay, we're gonna do the power on here in just a moment. Just keep in mind the front panel did get damaged, so this is what it would look like. Here's what it would look like from the front. You'd have this nice front panel here, like that. Let's bring this up a little higher. You would have this nice front panel here, like that. But unfortunately, every single one of these clips got broken off in shipping, thanks to Amazon. So I already ordered a replacement, but it's not here yet. Don't worry about that. It just fell over. Okay. You have a white bit Phoenix Nova Mesh. That's a great little case as well. Okay. Y'all, it is time to fire this PC up. So, I want to see all of your fire emojis in the chat. Every single one that you know exists in the chat. All right? Charmander, the flame, some random building on fire, anything. Whatever you can find, let's put it in the chat. And then we're gonna turn this baby on. Just like Richard's doing. Put some fire emojis in the chat, you guys. We gotta do it. It's a rule. It's written in the Constitution of Redneck, okay? That seems a little blasphemous. No, it's not written anywhere, but you should definitely do it because it makes me feel better. And that's really all what it's all about, you know? It's about me feeling happy with the build and being excited for the first power up. I'm gonna give you guys another like 20 seconds here while I shift some equipment over for the gaming portion of the stream that's gonna happen after this. Just a little bit more time. You don't have much time. Come on, I know you all know how to use emojis. Even my dad knows how to use emojis, and he's in his 60s. Okay? I know you guys know how to do it. Throw them up there. Let's get a little excited. Let's get a little hyped. So we can turn this baby up. All right, coming back to see what you guys have done. Ed Bailey coming in. Appreciate that. Thank you for the fire emojis. Those are the dynamite emojis. All right, I see you. Okay. So, 12600KF, a 3050, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Got this super cool A620 CPU cooler and 650 watt power supply from EVGA and the Antec AX90 case with an MSI B760 motherboard and 2 terabytes of storage. First power up. Let's go. Ooh, look at all that RGB. Look at it. Well, I bet you if I do this. One of these buttons back here is the LED button. There we go. Now this RGB for all these fans should kind of line up with the stuff from the CPU cooler and the RAM. Hold on, let's turn this light down a bit so you can see. Oh, we're off. I'm gonna turn it off. Don't worry, that happens. It's part of the initial fire up process. Yeah, not bad for less than 1K. Pretty awesome. Honestly, if this thing performs well, this CPU cooler could be a pretty baller CPU cooler for 60 bucks. Like, I know that sounds like a lot for a not an AIO, just like a tower air cooler, but like that, the RGB, like just the nice diffused like RGB lines rather than just like bright RGB fans like this. I think it looks super good. I think it looks so nice, especially in this like dark environment. And then you got like kind of similar diffused RGB light from the RAM. Even got a little tiny RGB light here. This little thing shows you power usage, I think, from the power supply. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. It's kind of cool. Digging that color. I think so. I do too. I think it looks great. I honestly, like for this thing, I probably wouldn't even, I don't even know that I would set a color for it. Like I would probably just leave it as like the rainbow because I think it looks so good. Like having it all just kind of sit there and change all the time. Yeah, it's only 60 bucks for the CPU cooler. It's like 10, I would say it's somewhere between 10 and $15 cheaper than the equivalent Deepcool CPU cooler that I think this is based off of. I mean, I can't tell you for certain, but I'm pretty sure that this is essentially their like ripoff of the AK6200 or 620, the AK620 from Deepcool, because it's got, you know, the same sort of, you know, dual tower design with the dual fans. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at the AK620 from Deepcool and were like, yeah, let's build one of those and we'll call it the A620. What's better, AIO or air? It really just depends on what you want. Like you can get AIOs that perform worse than air coolers. It just really depends on the CPU you have, the layout for your system, what you prefer in terms of looks. Tower air cooler, the benefits of it are it's much simpler. So really the only things to go wrong on it are the fans. You'll have to replace the thermal paste occasionally. And then, you know, you possibly, I guess, could have a heat pipe burst or leak, but that's super, super low probability. So they last pretty much forever. You could just go in and keep replacing fans and whatever. An AIO has a shelf life of 3 to 5 years. It will, no matter what, you know, no like liquid like holder is perfect. So you get some amount of like evaporation of the coolant inside of an AIO over time. And so after 3 to 5 years, your AIO is probably going to be toast. 1 from loss of coolant and 2 from the pump going out. You know, you can only have a pump that, you know, pumps only last for so long. And so like if you want something that's going to last longer, lower maintenance, tower air cooler is better. If you want something that's probably a little bit quieter, looks a little bit nicer in most cases, then I would go with an AIO. And yeah, your budget as well. Like, you know, this is a more high-end CPU cooler for a tower air cooler, and it's $60. You can get a solid air cooler like this one I have from Thermalright that does a pretty decent job of cooling most CPUs. It's, you know, it's boring, it doesn't have any RGB, it's not painted or anything. This is $18. So, you know, if you are on a tight budget and you need a decent CPU cooler, but you're not trying to cool a 14900K, air coolers are definitely the way to go if you're on a tight budget. Would that work better than my single fan Cooler Master? Do you have a Cooler Master AIO? Like a single fan Cooler Master AIO? If so, yes. This will work better than that. The Frozen Prism 240. I haven't ever used that before. Thermalright makes good stuff. I've used their air coolers a decent amount. I've used their contact frames. In general, they make good stuff, so I wouldn't be afraid to use their 240 millimeter IO, that's for sure. Okay, we are gonna call the PC build stream here, which means we're gonna end the YouTube stream, and we are going to switch over to playing some games. If you guys wanna watch some games, either hop over to kick.com/Redneck Engineer, spelled the exact same way you see it on YouTube, or YouTube, you can find me at Redneck Engineer Plays. So Redneck Engineer Plays is my gaming channel for YouTube. It's much newer, it's much smaller, but yeah, if you want to watch the stream over there, you can do that as well. So we're gonna call that the end of the YouTube building stream. And then we're gonna start switching on over to playing some games. If I can ever find, where's my mouse? It's over here. I left it on the counter. All right, YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate y'all. Yeah, head on over to Kick or the other YouTube channel if you wanna keep hanging out. You're more than welcome to keep asking PC-related questions while we're gaming. I'm happy to do that. We're just not going to be building a PC. All right. Bye, 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 bye. If you're on Kick, don't leave. We're still going to be